anyways, I don't wanna bash Montreal. I love Montreal.
That's the whole point of this podcast. It's about talking about the problems.
No, yeah. I mean, that's the only thing, and I hope through, my career, hopefully, that I can bring this back, that I can actually understand what it is that's lacking and what's the reason why we're struggling in connecting actually genuinely here, and I hope I can do something about it.
Prochaine station.
Lowkey MTL.
Yeah, Eliane sounds way better than me.
Oh yeah. So I'm just like, people call me E. People call me E.
E? Like ecstasy?
No, like the letter E, but sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like ecstasy.
Yeah.
What's your real name? Ecstasy? Like, that's what I would think,
Not really. But yeah, no. So Eliane.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, the reason why I wanted you on is because you're like very like involved in the fashion industry. Like, I had one person on before. He started like a clothing brand, but now his whole thing is like no gatekeeping. So he kind of goes to like all these manufacturers around the world and he like exposes them and like not in a bad way, just like, oh, like how much does a piece cost? Like how many, what's the minimum amount of units, blah, blah, blah. But I remember you were making like jewelry when I first met you.
Yeah. I mean, that was a project during the pandemic, actually.
Yeah. Just like this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And it went really well. To this day, I saw one every other month, which is kind of perfect. That's kind of what I wanted from this piece. Kind of like a timeless piece, and it means so much that the people that buy it, hopefully they wear it proudly. Everybody that ends up falling on it here and there, it's for the right reasons. So kind of building this community in the meantime, but definitely not limiting myself to fashion or obviously I love jewelry, all like the connected photography, all these connected mediums that I'm interested in.
Oh, interesting. Like photography too?
I love photography. I haven't practiced it much. Like I don't have camera or anything like that, but whenever I'm on set, I tend to just like, I'm super curious. I want to get more about, like, understand more about lighting and all this stuff, which eventually I think will come into play. But
yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand, dude. Like
exactly. And at the end of the day, like when I have something, I have a piece made, for example, I have an image, I know how I want to present it. I tend to almost want to do it myself because that's how I've been doing things so far. I just have like, I carry the vision through just by lack of like resources and
okay.
I tend to like do the whole thing. So
and you feel like it's faster too, right?
To do it myself?
Yeah, because like by the time you find somebody who's going to be like and explain them like your vision, nice time.
Sure, I haven't really thought about the time factor, but most of the time, like it just so happens that I do it myself, or I'll have like a friend do it, or But in Montreal, what I find really hard is the community. Like I don't have that many. I know there is a lot. I just haven't mingled with the community much.
Yeah, they're not really kind of like seeing each other as much.
Right.
Yeah,
I find it really unfortunate actually, because like when I moved back from New York, I kind of was like super on that role of like, let's work, get together and get stuff done. But here I haven't found that has been the case as much. And I know some people do it. Like since I worked at Essence, I see like the makeup artist will match with the stylist and the model and they make a shoot, and I find this amazing. But I find that in my craft, which is, it's more like of a thing that I do on my own really until I have a full collection and put it out. So I haven't really had the chance to get to that point yet because I've been like R&D and crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Is the R&D process like long? Like what's your process like?
Oh yeah, that's the...
How does it go from like idea to like final? Like for example, like the ring that you made, how did you get that whole idea of like the hands shaking?
I would say the ring took like from day one of having the idea to like the idea being complete and like being sold. It was a good like 2 years almost.
Oh wow. From
like, okay, bringing my idea to the jeweler and being like, okay, I have this idea, what do you think? okay, that's doable. Let's try this. You know, few back and forth of like having some prototypes, having like one full rig, wearing it, finding mistake, going back at it, whatever.
Did you have like that one jeweler in mind since the beginning, or did you have to shop around?
Makes all my jewelry. Shout out Joe Dealer. All my jewelries, like literally everything on made to measure. He's really cool. Based in Montreal too. So yeah, just my automatic thought was, let's see what Joel thinks about this.
For real, yeah.
Initially, this ring was meant to be just for me and like my closest friends. Then I was like, wait a second, what if we see beyond that? What if we talk about community? And community is always a subject that comes back in all the time in my life because I crave it so much. Like I find that it's not hard, but that's the part of my life where I wish that I had more people who have the same vision as I do. You know, I find that it's a bit hard here, or I really haven't found it.
For sure, yeah. Especially if you're like leaving the city and like finding it easier. Like in New York, I'm sure you like found your crowd like quickly.
Exactly.
How'd you connect with Joel?
I think from my time at Off the Hook, when I worked at Off the Hook, he was making jewelry that was sold there, and I guess from being there at the events and stuff like that.
You don't find there's any like events in the city like that kind of do stuff like that?
There are events. I think like, and I don't even want to get back to this because I think I'm jaded of the city, unfortunately. I just feel like
you change. But you weren't even here for that long. Where you like just step back?
In and out. I mean, it's been 3 years now. And I mean, I left to New York at such an important part in my life. That I feel like all my connections I ever made were in New York. You know? So
I get that.
I was like, you know what? Let me do the same thing I just did in my old city, you know? And quickly I realized that people are not as interested in like collaborating as much, you know? And it's really unfortunate because there are a lot of creatives in Montreal, but...
Yeah, there's so many. That's what like I find really crazy too, because you know they're out there, but it's just so hard to like get in touch with them, and like there's only so many like DMs you could like DM people, and like you don't even know like the person you're DMing is the right person, you know.
And the second you have an idea that goes beyond what's possible in Montreal, because want it or not, the market is limited here.
For sure, yeah.
The second you're like looking a bit further on like an international level, then the circle gets even smaller.
You know.
So
nobody wants to work on like projects like that, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. Because, that's the goal, you know, it's like, because in fashion, I think like the hubs are obviously, you know, London, New York, Paris, you know, they're away. And as much as you want to make it happen in Montreal, there's like a lack of resources, infrastructure, connection, you know, and just like, infrastructure. There's no like... Anyways, I don't want to bash Montreal. I love Montreal.
That's the whole point of this podcast, though. It's about talking about the problems.
I mean, that's the only thing. And I hope through, you know, my career, hopefully, that I can bring this back, that I can actually understand what it is that's lacking and what's the reason why we're struggling and connecting actually genuinely here. And I hope I can do something about this. You know?
So like your long-term vision, like you're always going to come back to Montreal, is everything?
I mean, honestly, right now, everything's in the air. There's just so many things going on.
Yeah, like, I don't even want to be in Montreal in the future.
Right? I mean, I love Montreal. I would say I cannot do the winter, so that's part of the
life. Exactly. Come here in the summer. And then,
right, exactly. At least I would have like a few months away, that's for sure. And also like it really depends on what parts of my career actually like blow up first, you know. I'll just kind of follow where that leads me for now, and eventually hopefully end up back here. It is like one of the best cities in the world at the end of the day. But
there's a lot of creativity and talent here, and like that's like the most common issue though. It's about like having people connect. It's like very like complicated here for some reason.
For some reason I don't understand.
And like people want to, but they just like don't.
Yeah, it's really tricky. It's really tricky. And all I can do for now, and that's what I've been trying to like practice with the people that I do actually connect with on like a one-on-one, or like some person introducing me to whatever, is like, let's have these little moments. Like yesterday I was working on a project at home with a friend who's been helping me out, and this girl that I recently met that's really into like knitting. She's like a nerd in knitting, and I just the way that I am. So we just started.
You're into knitting as well?
Yeah. Okay. Last summer, I took a course at Central St. Martin's in London. That's kind of what like drew me to London also after. But anyways, just to close off, we just geeked on knitting for like hours and just had so much fun. And I was like, these are the moments that I want to harvest. Yeah. At least like on a small scale. And if that becomes bigger, so be it. That'll be great, you know? But yeah, knitting right now is really my thing.
I feel like those random like hobbies are making a comeback, and I feel like TikTok is like a big reason for that. There's like a lot of like,
funny enough, I'm not on TikTok, and I'm used to be on TikTok.
You can't be like that.
I can't. No, I swear to God, like you're saying I can't not.
Yeah, you have to like at this point.
I'll prove you wrong. I will prove you wrong because I cannot. I mean, I'm already spending too much time on social media all this time. Yeah. Like, it's distraction at the end of the day.
It is, yeah. It's so hard. Like, it knows you better than you know yourself. That's the only problem.
And it's like, I'm having so much fun in my real world that why would I throw myself in this, like...
Yeah, and you don't want to be the person, like, in a real world situation, like, oh, like, I should film this right now. And like,
camera. And I try. Of course, I try because I know at the end of the day, I do need to, like, let people know what I'm doing in my cave. You know what I mean? Like, because otherwise, how would people know? But
that's the thing.
TikTok, it's just not for me. Like, maybe I'm too old. I don't know.
The whole point of it is, like, I think about it in a different way. Like, it's more like you're trying to find the people that want to, like, be involved in your project. So, like, want to maybe buy a ring or whatever. Like, but it's like, in order to find them, you have to be on, like, these platforms that give you access to all these people, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because, yes, it does open up for a community to be created, but also... My issue with that is that that's a community based on what they perceive of your content. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, content is already not the reality. It's already like a bit off. And then their perception is a bit off from the perception of the content of the real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta like try to relay real life through your content somehow. But easier said than done,
And hopefully one day I'll have a team that can
okay, so it's literally like you rather like spend your energy towards like the actual craft. Yeah. Just smart. Yeah.
That's where like my heart is. That's where like when I do it,
maybe your energy.
It's feeling it, But yeah, for sure, like, obviously on the business side, so far, like I said, I've been doing the whole thing just because it's just me and, like, I didn't have the money to hire people and stuff like that. And, like, thankfully, recently, like, some of my friends have been cool with, like, helping out. And that just speeds up the process. Like,
for sure, yeah. Especially if they, like, understand the vision.
Exactly. And I'm super grateful for that. But... yeah, like hopefully one day I have a team. I feel like slowly right now it's been like
manifesting.
And, like with the cold weather coming, I'm just in the studio all the time.
So what's it like? Is that like the studio you post on your story?
Yeah.
What is that?
My living room actually.
Oh, that's
this situation.
Oh, I thought that was
my living room.
No way. I thought that was like where you worked.
No, so I have like a job.
Yeah.
I have 2 jobs actually.
I come. On the grind.
Yeah, exactly. To fuel like London, to fuel that project, like
you have to do what you gotta do.
Like reinvested, But so I work I'm a freelancer at Essence at the moment in styling, which like pays the bills. And then I also have like a restaurant job some nights in the week. And actually I have 3 jobs.
And like waiter, like waitress?
Be like hosting.
Okay.
It's great. Yeah, they're a great team. And then I have this other thing with a friend where I like help install like that machine, which is so fun.
Oh, really?
I hope one day I can look back at this.
It sounds sketchy.
No, it's very legit. It's legit. But anyways, that's like little income ways to make
multiple streams
in order to fuel the bigger project.
For sure, yeah.
So all the second that I have free, see, like with 3 jobs, if I have TikTok on top of that. Like,
no, I get it. Yeah, but like, how do you have the energy after 3 jobs to like work on your stuff?
Question. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's really demanding. But it's dumb. But it's like you just have to get the ball rolling. And the second you do like 5 minutes in the studio today, tomorrow you do 10, the day after you do 20, the day after you're able to do an hour. You know what I mean?
It's a momentum.
Get in the momentum and get that, you know.
So what do you have like a routine where you're like, hey, I'm gonna like force myself to do like just start something, and then like
lately the momentum's been really like going, so I'm just like
letting it
excited. The second I wake up, I make a coffee, I go straight to the studio, and I just look around and I'm like, hey, where do I pick up? You know, there's like projects all over the place. Just like, you know. And
are you lacking sleep? Like, do you lose sleep?
No, I sleep very well actually. I sleep great. I sleep a lot too. I go to bed like relatively
early.
I mean, like, you know, 11. Lately I've been 6, so I've been trying to go to bed earlier. But like 11, 12 is like
that's solid. Yeah.
And then I'll be up depending if I work that day or what. But also like my job at Essence, it's been like super, like literally the best situation that sometimes I'll finish really early. Sometimes I have a full day, but some of those days I'll be done by like 2, you know, or 1 or whatever. And then I'm able to go back in the studio, and then I have like 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours to put in before the other job or whatever case may be.
Yeah, wow.
So that's, you know, every minute counts. Obviously, like the weekends are dedicated to that too. I try my best. I mean, it's just like, that's the goal. So why would I do anything else right now? Like, I'm so tunnel vision on this project.
Yeah, and you have like a vision of going to London, right? Like,
that's the next thing that's happening actually. Like I said, there's a lot of things in the air right now.
Like a lot of things is in like multiple projects or like multiple ideas.
Yeah, so there's like a project that's based here. That's like what I'm working on in the studio.
Okay.
I recently got in touch with like some people that could help me. I can't put too much out right now.
This is going to come out in 2024, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
No.
I mean, this stuff. Keep it on the low, just not jinx it. But
yeah, I know.
Some people that could help me out. So I'm like, if this actually goes in the direction that it's looking like where it's going, I might stay here for as long as they need me to be here. Like the ultimate goal is to end up in London, just for like the work opportunity. The way that I see my life at the moment, I've been growing on like the typical work path, right?
Yeah.
This job, get better,
corporate ladder,
you know, whatever, through different companies. But let's say I'm climbing the corporate ladder on one side, and I'm also climbing the like business starter, entrepreneur / creative / artist on the other side. And the ultimate goal is to end up being able to do this full time. But I'm like, let me make sure that this side is also
it's a good backup.
You know.
And are you like learning skills in Essence that you could translate?
Essence, I mean, obviously, like, it's econ styling, so at the end of the day, it's quite same.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really. I mean,
it's just for the econ website, like you're just styling people for the shots. Okay.
Like everything we sell online.
Yeah.
So Essence, not so much, but like my previous job, so much. And like dumb as it sounds, the restaurant job, I learned so much, you know what I mean? About business, about like
customer service,
interaction, meeting people. And like, I always say like, there's no dumb job in the sense that like, it has nothing to do with what I'm doing or where I'm going, but it's teaching me so much about myself as well. Like,
true, yeah.
And I'm meeting people, as much clients as like coworkers that are doing really well for themselves also. And who knows, like maybe I'll be in London and see them, and they can whatever, and I can whatever, you know?
Restaurant is the restaurant downtown?
It's in Verdun. It's called
Shout
out
But no, restaurant jobs are sick because like you do meet a lot of people like come in and out. It's like when I used to work at a gym in the West Island, I met so many people just by being at that front desk.
Exactly.
Talking to people.
Talking to people and like having conversations, and you know, you never know. Like you literally never know where people are going.
Especially like at restaurants, you're gonna get like every type of person there. You know?
Exactly. And especially a restaurant like this, they're like somehow like wealthy people coming there, you know what I mean? So they're doing stuff. They're out there. They're older too, so they have experience.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like to see that. So that's really been like funding the London project. And London's still really attractive to me, as much for like the corporate ladder that I'm still trying to climb, but but also the knitting community is huge and like.
Oh, really?
Huge. Like they have so much resources. Like the course that I took at CSM.
What's CSM?
Central St. Martin's. It's like it's a fashion school
in London.
In London.
Oh, okay.
And the course that I took, not only did they have all like the machineries that you could ever think of, but also like the teachers, they have like resources, they have community, the people that come out of there, the people that go and do short courses. There's a lot of yarn stores. Like it's really, there's so much more than I could. Here it's a bit trickier. Like you really have to find a niche and like go right for it.
Is there a yarn store in Montreal?
Is there what?
A yarn store in Montreal?
There are yarn stores. I haven't really explored them though, but I know there are. I buy my stuff mainly online.
Yeah.
And I make my own yarn as well. So.
Oh, really? You make your own yarn?
That's kind of when I can talk about it. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so it is.
But like, so you have an audience online with like the stuff you've been working on, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, so like,
small, but...
no, but it's like you have people like involved, like watching like your projects, and you have like friends on it, whatever. Yeah. But like, do you ever think of it as like that's like, because that must be a part of your community, right? That you're building.
Right, totally. I think so. Yeah, I think slowly. I think also the reason why the community hasn't manifested itself just yet is because I have been in many different crafts. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe the more I like to
for sure, 100%.
It'll reinforce and people will definitely reach out.
Yeah. I feel like it's good to do a bunch of different things because then you really understand like what you actually want to do.
Right, exactly. And I kind of want to keep all the options open because one day I wake up and I'm like, I have this idea for a chair. You know what I mean? Right.
No, do a knitted chair, like, you know what I mean?
No, but exactly. But that's the craziest part about creativity is like, okay, I want to make a chair. Like the same way this yard project has been turning out. It's like I knew nothing of what I was doing, but I had this idea and I thought myself a craft. And with my lack of knowledge, I ended up to something that probably someone who actually was trained in yarn making or in knitting would have bypassed because it just not the conventional way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that's what's really interesting when you touch on a bit of everything is that, well, okay, I want to make a chair, but I know how to knit. So how does that make sense together?
Yeah, you make these like new connections that like most people will overlook. It's true because like everything is done so like similarly over time that like you won't think that way.
And that's why I recommend don't go to school creative or do.
Wait, but I thought you like you
did. I did all the classes and all the course, and I'm grateful. Like I
dropped out. So
I think there's a good part to it as well because that's what taught me the base. I knew nothing about nothing before. Like I knew nothing about pattern making, sewing, and I went to school in like design.
Why did you want to go into that?
I don't know. That kind of was always, I set my mind to it and I just never diverted. I was
like you kind of just chose it or like you wanted to do it?
I was like, I'm going to work in fashion one day. Like,
okay.
Literally when I was a kid, I was like, I want to be the next Anna Wintour. God knows why. I think I saw Anna Wintour as like this glamorous.
Who's Anna Wintour?
What?
I was afraid to ask.
Yeah, Anna Wintour I might mess this up, CEO of Vogue.
Oh, her, yeah.
Glasses and the little bomb.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anna Wintour.
I think I watched like Devil Wears Prada and I was like, I want to be that.
Devil Wears Prada?
It's based on her.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Obviously, yeah, I'm not, I don't think I'm that mean and whatever, but.
You have to be though if you want to be the best.
I don't know. I think there's a way to
I'm joking, yeah.
But yeah, so that I kind of set my mind to this and I just never looked away. I was like, this is what it's going to be. And of course, it's taking a totally different route than I could have expected.
Yeah.
I probably won't be Anna Wintour, you know what I mean? But because I was aiming in that direction and kind of guided everything in my life, my studies, my extracurricular activities, whatever it was.
That's what it is though. Like, you gotta like choose one thing and just do it. Because like if you keep but that's kind of you're in that process right now, right? Of like you're back into like doing multiple different projects, keeping it open, but like you kind of do have a tunnel vision.
It's funny
you need that
because I tend to say the opposite. I tend to say keep doing it all, kind of.
Yeah.
Until you find, and like right now I'm like starting I'm 27. Like I've been doing all these other things for 27 years. And I'm just now starting to make it make sense. Like all these things.
They're going together. Yeah.
This, where it works perfectly, you know? But I think I do agree that in the end, like eventually you do kind of like narrow it down. But I think as long as you have a tunnel vision that, you know, that's wide enough, that includes about a bunch of things.
Yeah, because or else you're not going to be open-minded and like try new things. Exactly. So you need that too. It's like for me, like I have to choose between like I downloaded like Ableton for music, and then I downloaded Premiere Pro for editing, and I'm like, okay, I got to choose one. I want to do this or that, and then I went with video. Okay. And then if like see like I'm now like all this is happening, right? But, like if I went with music, like I don't know like what it would have been like completely different path, right? But then sometimes there's like a point where I feel like you have to like choose and just be like, okay, I'm gonna just do this and like try it out.
And I think that's part of the process. And you might one day you might be like, you know what, I choose wrong. Let me go back to the other thing.
Well, I'm getting into music now. I'm just doing it afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think as much as you can do. That's why I'm like, you limit through distraction. No freaking
TikTok
shit, you know? Like,
what if you like see somebody knitting on TikTok and they're in Montreal and you're like, oh, I should connect with this person?
Yeah, you're right.
But it's not worth, I guess it's not worth like the amount of time that you have to put in order to get that 1%.
Right?
Yeah.
That's true. And also like if I'm doing the thing, like this person, like I feel like we end up running into each other at some point.
Naturally?
Like,
oh, okay,
naturally,
yeah,
like
true.
Through a convention or whatever the case, you know? But I'd much rather that, the in-person connection.
100%, yeah, same.
But you're right. There is for sure there's a way to connect online. And I have like on Instagram maybe, and I've made these connections and it worked out. But I think at the end of the day, there's definitely, like when you meet up in person, then you can tell if it's like, if it's gonna go in the direction or what.
Okay.
But
cool.
Yeah.
With your ring, the handshake ring.
Yeah.
You said it was kind of like autopilot now. It's just so is it like manufactured somewhere and all that is taken care of?
All done here actually. This girl Saha Bijou, she takes care of the production, and it's all pre-order, so people buy it online. Then I send the order to Sarah. She does it, and then once it's ready,
did like Shopify?
I use. What do I use? I don't know. I didn't make my website. I forgot. No, it's not Shopify. It's like through Webflow.
Okay.
And Stripe? Question?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Webflow and Stripe makes sense. But
even now, it's like I'll talk to people. Sometimes we'll do the transaction that's like on it right now.
Okay.
And it's not massive enough that I like need to actually like put it.
Yeah. Do you do like marketing campaigns for it?
No.
Has anybody copied it?
No, thankfully.
Because I feel like I've seen ads for it.
Really? I haven't. You should send it to me.
Yeah.
A few people sent me photos of like rings where it was hands, but it's like hands like this or whatever.
What's yours again?
It's like a handshake. So it's like.
Yeah, I swear I've seen like the handshake one. Let me see.
Really? It's like two hands that go into each other.
Oh, it's two separate pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Okay, I haven't.
Like that's another thing. Like copying.
That's so cool.
Copying is kind of inevitable now in this day and age, you know. And it's unfortunate, but you know, I learned my lesson with like another project that unfortunately got picked up by a big company, and you know, what can I do unless I like protect myself? It's like.
So you didn't patent that?
I didn't patent that. I don't think I want to. I think at this point, people know that it's been like, I mean, also a patent, you know how much it costs. It's like extreme.
Yeah.
I'm not at a point where
I feel like if there's an idea that's like, I mean, yeah, you know, it is healthier for like the brand and the community if you don't patent it.
Right.
Because then you're not going to be like, oh, like we steal the idea.
Right. I mean, yeah, I'm actually working on a patent for something else. And
that you don't want to talk about? It's fine.
Not yet.
Are we on 2024?
Because that's different. It's like it's a new technology versus like art piece. Like an art piece.
That's what's interesting about Montreal, actually. So when you're working on like innovative shit like that, there's a lot of like government support and like giving you like resources and like giving you like consulting for free.
Really?
Yeah, you should look into that.
I will.
There's a lot of it's literally like ex like CEOs of these like big companies that basically just on all they do is they just advise like startups and like companies of like where they could find resources, where they could. There's like a huge there's like a whole like because with I learned about this with the beanbag stuff. There's like a whole like category in Montreal that just like specializes in like stitching and like quality stitching and like that kind of stuff. And we're like looking into that now because like that's one of the big parts about like a beanbag, like stitching and stuff. Yeah. And like I didn't know like none of this I didn't know any of this existed.
Yeah.
You know?
I've looked into like government subventions and or what you call this, like grants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for some reason I never got to a point like I found it tricky to.
Yeah, I find it's hard to like find these resources too.
Yeah, and you also have to have a business Bible.
Yeah.
Not that.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I guess right now.
But you can still like get a free call and like kind of like they kind of guide you. Like it's literally like put in place to like help businesses grow in Quebec. But like nobody knows the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Send the links.
Yeah. It's not necessarily a link. Like it's just like yeah. I'll like find it and I'll send you like where to like who to hit up there, where to go. Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's the other problem. There's like that whole disconnect. Like people just don't know where to find shit.
Yeah, there's that too, like resources. And I know we do have a lot. It's just where do you find them? You know, it's like there's no hub. It's like you really have to like dig deep in the governmental
websites.
Like, and the language they use, like nobody gets it.
Yeah.
And so you get discouraged so quickly. And that's part of why I haven't really. My dream is that just an angel falls from the sky. They know everything about business and like law and governmental stuff, and they could just be like, here, apply to this, do this, like sign up here, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, you know,
yeah, I could do that.
I'm not that savvy. I'm not that.
Yeah, but obviously an angel is not going to just pull up into you like flying.
Yeah. Really?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. But have you used AI at all? Like
yes.
ChatGPT?
Yes, but not like really just to draft emails.
Yeah, just to like make your shit sound better.
Makes sense in my practice just yet. I have tried like what is it called? Not the ChatGPT, the image stuff.
Midjourney?
Midjourney for like
ideas,
fashion drawings, like to sketch ideas basically, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, I mean it is there, but like we don't have access to it yet.
Yeah, and I don't know how to operate it enough so that.
Oh yeah, it's all prompts and shit.
I don't know what to say enough so that it comes out good, you know. So, anyways,
I have like a paid membership for ChatGPT because GPT-4 is more creative. That's what they say.
Okay.
But it kind of is like it's not creative, but like it gives you more of like a starting point of like when you're brainstorming and stuff like that. And it can literally like be your, like you could train it to be your advisor.
Okay.
And it can like advise you to like, okay, you should do this now and like hit up like these places in your city and like try to find these resources.
So wait.
Yeah, so you have to use it. Like it's gonna help you.
Oh my God. That's next level though.
It is scary, but it's like you have to use it.
To learn how to use it for sure.
Yeah, there's also ways of learning how to use it by like asking it to like teach you. You could be like, oh, like how should I like design my prompts for you to understand better, and then it would kind of work like backwards. There's a lot of hacks like online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I need to get into that for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. See, that's another thing I need to put on the list. No time for TikTok.
Yeah, AI fine. Yeah, more time for AI than TikTok for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So many things. I mean, this world is full of opportunities, full of resources, full of things. Just need to be out there and look for them. You know?
Out of all the places you traveled, you said New York and London. Is there any other place that you kind of thought of living in or going to?
Good question. To live? I love traveling. Obviously, I love to, but like to say that I would establish myself. I mean, I love LA, of course. LA's like.
Have you gone like before COVID?
Yes.
And have you gone after COVID?
Yeah.
Was there a difference?
Not that I see.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, not that I saw. No. What are you referring to?
I'm just curious because a lot of people, like during COVID, like a lot of like there's a lot of politics there, and like a lot of people left, and then like the homelessness apparently went up, and like
I didn't
it was
know
more dangerous.
Maybe I wasn't there long enough to notice.
Okay.
But I mean, I can imagine. But no, I loved LA. I think LA would make sense.
Yeah, it's on the top of my list right now. Like that's one of the spots I want to go to.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of creative people there, and you connect with them.
The thing with LA, and that's what everybody says, but that's what I got from a friend who she's from London, she lived in New York, and now she lives in LA. And I was asking her, like, okay, I'm literally considering these 3 cities for my next move. What's the vibe, And she was like, London is mad creative, mad cooperative. People want to work the same way kind of New York is. New York, the only difference is but chaotic. Like, there's everything going on in New York.
Yeah, I remember when I was in New York, I was getting back to my Airbnb at like 4 a.m. and people were like going out for a jog.
Yeah. It's like there's always things going on. Like there's not. You really have to like discipline yourself to stay home because there's always something, and these things will take you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So you don't want to miss out,
Yeah,
it's like actual like valuable events or like meetups, networking that you'll make. And then she was saying LA is great for when you have done this, when you're established enough that you can, because LA people don't, and it's done, but people don't walk, like people drive.
But that's because of their urban planning though.
Exactly.
It's all set up in a stupid way.
But as stupid as it sounds, you don't run into people as much. So like people are secluded. They're like in their homes or in the location where they're
it's true. Yeah, unless they're in a car. Road rage.
Exactly. Versus these other places. So I think the idea is definitely London, get that. For me, my comparison, and I spent a lot of time in London, New York, and here. And London's kind of like the perfect middle ground between the chaos of New York and the comfortability of Montreal. Like the like the
relaxedness,
the like chill time, the like safety that we feel in Montreal, the chaos, the hustle, the poverty in New York. London's kind of like that middle ground where it's like you get a little bit of everything, but it's not as draining as New York is, and it's not as boring as Montreal is. I like the middle ground. So I kind of want to explore that.
What about Toronto? Have you
I've been in Toronto a few times. I didn't connect with Toronto for some reason.
Yeah, I found Toronto's like a shitty New York.
Kinda.
That's how I see it.
To be something.
They're like always busy doing things, but also everything's so far away that like we can only do like 2 things a day because you're just stuck in traffic.
Right. I do like Toronto in the sense that there's obviously more opportunity with my field than
for sure. There's there's opportunities for everybody.
Exactly.
Like way more in Toronto.
Exactly. Yeah. But I haven't experienced it enough to be like. I mean, I have experienced it, but I didn't love it enough to be like I'm gonna move to. Like if I'm gonna move to Toronto, I might as well move to London. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Pay the same price.
No, definitely go to Europe.
Exactly. You have so much more opportunity.
Yeah, and you could just like take a train to like a neighboring place.
Like Paris in like 2 hours.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And all the beaches. Yeah, definitely not Europe.
Exactly. And I have my European citizenship, so if like one weekend there's a job in Paris, I can take that job.
Were you born in Europe?
I was born here, but my father's side. My father is Spanish and French, so I got my French passport.
It's Spanish from Spain?
Yeah. And I got my French passport because when I was looking into the Spanish passport, you have to like renounce your other nationalities, which I found was stupid. Like,
really?
I'm going to renounce my Canadian nationality.
Really?
Yeah. I mean...
I know people that had a Spanish passport and a Canadian passport.
Since then, I've been told that, and now I'm like, damn, maybe I fucked up.
No, you renounced it?
But anyway,
you're Canadian?
No. I didn't renounce it. Okay. I got my French passport.
Okay.
So that's still, I mean, you just need a European citizenship and you can work anywhere in the
in the EU,
like, whatever, bring it on.
So you have a French passport and a Canadian one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So and soon a UK visa, technically.
I feel like the States is like the hardest to like.
Oh my God, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
I was working on, before I decided to go to London, I was working on the US a US visa, the O1 visa, the artist visa. Like this lawyer that I was working with was great. He was so informative. Thank God. But yeah, the lawyer fees just to get to the application is insane.
How much is it a grant?
At least like 10K Canadian.
Holy fuck.
Just to get to the application.
Yeah.
Just to prepare your documents so that they're like you're 99.9% sure to get the visa. And so I was like, you know what? 10K for 3 years in the States, or like it's really like 2K to get like everything paid off for the London visa. I was like,
and the cost of living is probably better in London.
I think it's pretty much the same.
Oh yeah, it's pounds, right?
It's pounds.
Oh, true.
And pounds worth a lot. I think it's similar, but also like, you know, let me keep moving, keep broadening the network. These people are there, you know, I know them.
You already connected with the States company? Oh, okay, yeah.
But I mean, obviously I would love to, there's so much more, of course, but I was like, let's keep the...
Yeah, also you said your friend kind of advised you to do like the UK first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know what, one day I was like, oh, Montreal, and up playing. I like, fuck out of here. He was like, get your shit and go. Like, what are you waiting for? And I was like, you're right, you know?
It's just the comfortability. That's what happens. Like, you're just like,
that shit will suck you in.
I know. I'm like, but I also started a podcast that's very specific to Montreal too, so I like really locked myself here. But I do have ideas of like...
What do you have? This?
No, the name is called Lowkey MTL.
Oh, right. Yeah. But I mean, Lowkey is still usable.
For sure. Like my initial plan was to have like Lowkey LA, Lowkey like Toronto, Lowkey, you know? Mm-hmm. But I could also keep it Lowkey MTL because it's Montrealers all around the world and just interview Montrealers.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can interview Montrealers around the world. Exactly.
But I don't know, it's just like moving and like this whole process of it. I feel like I should travel and like check places out first and then I don't know. But my goal would be to go to either like Texas or
Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Why Texas?
I would want to go to Austin because there's like a huge like creative economy building there now.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's just like a lot of land. Right. But there are like animals that'll come eat your dog. So, and people have open carry guns, which is another sketchy thing. And it's Texans. America. It's like actually America.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Texas does have an amazing creative scene.
And like different parts of Texas is completely different, right?
Right.
It's like all of the states. Like every different state is like very different to one another.
For sure. What would be the other place you were gonna say?
Europe. Like anywhere in Europe, honestly.
I mean, it depends what you do, like, and what your ultimate goal is. You know, if it's like to build a podcast, of course, like.
Yeah, but I feel like building a podcast is not like the end goal.
What's the end goal?
I don't know.
Okay.
I still don't know, but it's like something like some kind of like media outlet and like community.
Okay.
You know? Okay. That has like multiple different, but the whole idea behind it was to have like kind of like, you know, Barstool Sports?
No.
You don't know who Barstool Sports is? No. It's in New York. It's like, it's from New York and it's like a page that just has a bunch of podcasts and like shows and stuff under it on YouTube.
I don't know.
Kind of like that for Montreal. So it's like a page that has like a hub with like multiple shows within, you know, kind of like a network, but like on YouTube.
Yeah.
But like now, like as much as I keep fighting it, I'm like thinking more and more. And I'm like, yeah, like I don't want to stay in Montreal. Like I might have like a place here to come back to, but I don't think I could like live here.
Is your family here?
Only my parents. Everybody else is in Toronto.
Oh, really?
No, yeah, everybody's in Toronto.
Okay. My
sister used to live here too, and she moved to Toronto as well.
Oh, okay.
And my parents want to move to Toronto.
And what about Toronto? I feel like that would be a great spot.
I lived there for a summer, and I just couldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah, because I couldn't do much in a day, and like meeting people, like I was meeting people, but because I have a lot of family there, so it would be like friends and stuff. Okay. But in order to meet people like in my like, I guess industry and like the creative world, it's like a whole different ball game, I feel.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you find it hard in Toronto, LA is definitely hard. But there's a thing about being away from home. Maybe it's because Toronto is like still familiar, like your family's there, your friends are there.
I grew up going there like I go there like 4 times a year. I mean,
right. So I think maybe there's a thing about being outside of your comfort zone that
100%
undeniable. Wherever you go,
yeah,
it'll do something to you. And then
because you're really like truly like harnessing who you are and like do you want to be,
and you have no like you can't do otherwise. Like
yeah, it's a survival
it's
instinct.
survival.
Yeah.
And that pushes you to find out so much about yourself, expand, you know, it's I don't know.
How often have you done like solo trips, just say?
I mean, my solo trip was New York. Like, I moved to New York when I was 2020, where I just turned 21.
Okay.
By myself, knowing absolutely nobody. So that was like
How did you like? How was the process finding a place and shit? You just kind of like internet.
So my mom knew some lady through like yoga community.
Yeah.
That had a room for rent in Brooklyn, and I just lived with like a 40-year-old lady for this year, which was an experience. And then from there, like immediately I started like I remember my first week or 2 weeks in New York, I was so intimidated. I was so scared. Like, you know, I'm
not gonna make it here.
I come from the West, you know, it's like I can walk out the block and I won't see anybody for like a full block.
The West, right?
The West Island.
Oh, you're from the West Island?
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
That's okay.
Okay.
A little bit outside. Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's the same idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyways, like you're just in this city where it just keeps moving. There's so many people, like I don't know nobody.
You just always feel unproductive because people just move very fast.
And like and at the same time it's like American everything. So it's like new. I don't even have any set of reference. Everything is new.
Yeah.
Like pharmacy, where do I go grocery shop? You know what I mean? Like at 21, I'm just like
hot dog stands. Yeah.
Craziness. So that was kind of like the biggest lesson for me. I learned so much about myself in like the first year was like so formative. I feel like I grew 10 years in 1 year. It was just huge. And that was big for me. And then I spent some months in Spain as well. So some months in London.
We're in Spain.
I was in Barcelona.
I love Barcelona.
Yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful city. I do want to end up in Spain at some point as well.
You want to end up everywhere.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm so young, you know, you gotta aim high in order to get.
Yeah, no, but I like how you have like multiple different visions and you're like, whatever kind of like goes, I'm just gonna go with that way and go this way.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is though. Like, you can't like predict anything. It's always just say, go with the flow.
So my like it's been like this. I've been all over, left and right, up and down, in circles, you know, and eventually I'll end up in a pocket somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not in the pocket yet. You're in the process. I feel like there's never a pocket.
I was gonna say I don't think I'll ever get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm good. You know. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't like just because of who I am, the way that I am. I'm so curious. Like I always want to know something else.
Are you impulsive?
Good question. Am I impulsive? I feel like my friends.
I love how you say good question. It makes me feel like a good interview.
You're good. Yeah. I don't know. Am I impulsive? I don't think so. I'm not impulsive, actually. I'm very réfléchi. Like, I think things through a lot.
Yeah.
For certain things.
So if I'm like, oh, do you want to take a shot right now? You'll be like, nah, I have shit to do after, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I want to take a shot just because I'm not really drinking these days. But
okay, like, really? Was that like a whole like was that a thing too? Or like you being sober?
It just kind of goes hand in hand with like I have other priorities right now. Like I'm really pressed to drink. I'm like I need to be up tomorrow because I have.
Yeah, see, that's smart. That's smart. Take it ahead.
Yeah. So, but I mean, for things like that, I would be more like, yeah, let's do it. Like have fun. I love fun. I chase fun. If you're suggesting something really fun, I'll be like, probably.
Yeah, like a shot's not that fun.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Yeah.
But in the sense that, yes, I could be impulsive for that. But other than that, like I'm not the type of person that reacts on like anger. I'll be.
Oh no! Yeah.
You know, think things through.
Yeah.
Before I like. So yes and no. It depends on which moment.
Yeah, I find that's interesting because like when you're chasing fun, you typically have FOMO, and then you typically like don't think ahead about the next day. You know?
Interesting.
well, that's like my problem. Like I have like very bad FOMO, and I would just like go out, and then like I would have like work the next day,
Right.
and I was just like, oh, whatever, think about it like later,
Right,
and the next day, just like, why did I do that?
But do you think that FOMO comes from? Because FOMO is fear of missing out. Like, it's not fear of not having fun. You know what I mean? I don't see them as related. I see them as like, I feel like I'm missing out on somewhere where people would see me or whatever the case.
Oh, but it would benefit you somehow. Yeah.
You know?
It's not just like going, yeah.
I think FOMO, for me, I used to have FOMO in New York, actually. And now I'm realizing that, like, the second you have, like, a set goal, and it took me so long to get that until I actually felt it in my body. The second you have, like, a direction that's so clear, like, you're never missing out, because that's what you would be missing out on if you were to do all these other things. You know what I mean?
Interesting, yeah.
It's kind of like you put yourself in, like, such a direction that
because
nothing else really... Of course, things matter, like friends, you know, you want to be there, whatever. But, like, I don't care not to be at this party because I know that I spent my night in the studio.
Yeah, that's so your definition of fun is different.
Different, for sure. And it took me so long to get there. And I think everybody has their timing. Like, it just so happened that for me, this year made sense. And it's really recent that I'm like really, really, really doubling down, you know? I'm like, that was my goal for the year and that's where I'm going. Setting goals, I think, is so important. Just like...
Do you write them down or like journal them?
I write them down. And I was just with a friend not too long ago and we're going back through. I have like these booklets that...
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And write them down like without even like thinking them through. Just whatever comes to mind. Often it comes to me like I'm waking up in the morning and I'm like, okay, this year I need to do this, that. Forget about it. Keep on. And
do you date your pages?
I don't. I probably should. But I always write like goals for this date to that date.
Oh, okay.
Until this or whatever.
Yeah.
And first point is that when you forget about it, just go about your life. Subconsciously, you're kind of just planting a seed, and subconsciously you're going in that direction just by writing it down, just by having this thought one day, you know. And second thing is that most likely than not, within like for example, you said your goal for a year, you will have achieved it most likely in probably 6 months.
Yeah, less time. Yeah, less time. It's so crazy.
And then to see that visually, to be like, oh, I said that time, but this is what's happening.
But you also don't like believe it. You're like, it was a fluke. Like, I don't know if that, you know, like
really.
Especially me in the beginning, like a lot of shit that I've written in my journal, have like happened so quickly that I'll just be like, it's like weird. You
have like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like I'm in a simulation or something, you know. Have you ever heard of like people writing things down in like the way that it's as if it's already happened?
Yeah. Like it wasn't it Jim Carrey that wrote like this check. Like,
exactly. Yeah,
that shit blows my mind.
Yeah,
it's true. Like it's real.
Yeah, like you also don't want to be like, oh, like the secret manifestation, but like, at the same time, like it is like weird how like you kind of like program yourself by writing, you know.
Amen. I'm a firm believer in that. Like I'm a firm believer that we 1000% have control on our brain, you know. We can rewire and reshape and rewire in the direction that we want, you know. Like you can be who you want to be. There's no such thing as like, oh, but I'm just like that. Like that's never.
I hate when people say that shit.
You know,
I'm like, oh, that's just me. Like that's my personality.
Yeah, right? And it's like, sure, if you accept it, go for it.
Yeah, but like
don't go and complain that that's your personality. You know.
Yeah. So also your personality changes. Like you can't just have one personality.
So many things influence like the moment, the people you're with, whatever. I read so many books about this, and that's a big part of who I've become as well. It's like I'm absolutely obsessed with like how the brain works.
Like psychological books?
Yeah, like psychology books, neuroscience book. The last book that I read that absolutely blew my mind was it's called You Are the Placebo. So it's basically the idea of the placebo effect.
Yeah.
But how you can basically self-program the placebo within you so that you're already feeling like you're in this position.
Kind of like fake it till you make it type vibes.
Basically, without faking, you know, it because it becomes really ingrained in your body, in your every atom of your body. And I like this book because it's like, it's very much backed by like physics. Like
okay, cool.
Scientific.
Yeah.
So to make the connections that like just by setting an idea, by writing a goal, my atoms, like my anatomy is actually affected, and that shit is real. Like it's science, you know. And it may sound, I realize that it sounds maybe hysterical to some people, but I firmly believe in science, and what I read was very much science. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I have a book called The Power of Habit, and they use a lot of like scientific like research.
Yeah. All of those.
Okay, so
yeah, all of those are really, I think, are brilliant and really important. And not everybody likes to read, but
yeah, I kind of found like audiobooks are better.
Yeah.
They listen to a lot of podcasts anyways.
I was going to say, you could find either audiobook or like YouTube videos. All these guys that wrote these books are invited to these podcasts, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or so some people even like summarize books in a YouTube video. They'll be like, oh, these is what the ideas are.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But do you ever just like want entertainment and like not?
I do. It's funny because I was talking to a friend about this. I'm like, on like my Instagram feed, I never get like those funny videos. I always get like, I don't know, some
motivational speech.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely, my algorithm is like built in that direction. But I do like to, oh my God, like I said, I love fun. Like I love that. Like we're going to play bowling later, and that shit gets me through. You know?
Yeah.
Just fun, pure, honest entertainment, you know. I just don't like distractions. Like if I'm gonna do something just to keep me away from something else, I'll look right in the face of that other thing. You know what I mean? But I do, and I put a lot of time aside for like fun and entertainment for sure. I mean, I love movies. Like I watch movies like a geek. I love movies. Movies, cinema. I go to the movies every Tuesday. Like it's really
really every Tuesday. Actually, every single Tuesday you go to the movie.
And since I started working in the restaurant, I had to slack because I work on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Before that, I'm letterboxed. Like I keep everything.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that. I think you told me about those shit.
Did I? Probably because that's my.
I think you told me about it.
Stubborn.
That's crazy. Yeah. I'm like, what is this? And you like gave me the whole explanation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I need
Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. Like it's 5:40 and you gotta go to your bowling thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like we got a lot covered.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I probably still have more questions, but like maybe we'll do a part 2 or something.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
First, thank you so much for coming.